Hold up, this is a little more than just a beauty look.
I didn't think we could fall in love, broken from the start, chained to our past.
What's up, Hanz family? After doing a beauty tutorial for you guys last week, you wanted another one, but I wanted to add a little twist and mix colorful beauty with UV light. I've had these black lights forever and I've wanted to play with them, so here we go. A way to make your beauty makeup just a little bit radioactive. So, starting off, I do have a little bit of a tan, so I'm not ghostly white, and I just want to put on some primer. I'm using Benefit's Professional all over my face. RCMA is forever one of my holy grail foundations. And what you do is they come in this palette and they're kind of hard, and you just have to warm them up on your hand. They become super creamy. Great for oily or dry skin. I use a large kabuki brush from Sigma, and ooh, let me get the paint from last time off of my ear. I buff that in downward motions onto my face and my neck and my ears. Doing it in downward motions is usually best because since we all have hair on our face, we all got peach fuzz, it's alright. It helps not to accentuate the hair so much by completely covering it up and down in foundation. I use a beauty blender to really blend everything out so it's nice and seamless, and then I set my face with a little bit of powder. We're going to be using a few different kinds of UV paints because I wanted to give you guys plenty of options. So this is the Mehron Blacklight Activated Paint. I would definitely suggest using this one to cover your foundation because the idea of this that I had was that underneath normal light you look normal, it blends with you, but then under UV light it really pops out. This is creamy, so it kind of already seems like a foundation, and I would also suggest going a few shades lighter on your normal foundation just to compensate for the white of this color. Work in very small places in your face as you go, because I found that blending it very softly in small motions with quite a bit of paint on is the best to get an even coverage. Make sure to keep looking at it in normal light and in black light just so that it's nice and blended. And you can see when it's completely dry, it pretty much looks like normal. We do want to contour, obviously. We don't want to have egg faces like mine, my moon face. So I'm using Infidelity from Makeup Geek, which is their contour shade, and this Morphe brush just to contour out my face. I didn't exactly know how this would look with the black light paint, but I actually really ended up liking it because we want a little bit more dimension to our face when the black light is on. It doesn't glow per se, but it just helps so that our face doesn't look like a flat purpley blue thing. I even contoured my nose to help with that too, which I don't normally do, but come on. Now we're going to water activated paints. These are the Kryolan UV Aqua paints. They're really bright normally and they're awesome under UV light as well. And I wanted to do this as my blush. I'm putting it down and then I'm trying to blend it out as much as humanly possible. Use this very lightly because it is pigmented as fuck. And if you don't want it to be so pigmented, just go ahead and take your regular kabuki brush that you were using with your foundation and lighten it. I went ahead and did one eye, as you can see, and for the next eye I am using this Kryolan eyeshadow palette for most of it. As you can see, it's super bright, and as a base I will be using the cream UV color from Kryolan. I started with yellow cream color, which will pretty much act as like our eyeshadow primer. I tried putting the eyeshadow primer on the other eye and it kind of didn't work, so I would just use a cream paint like this. And I'm blending the yellow Kryolan eyeshadow all over it on the top lid and bottom. We want to really pack that color on so it's nice and bright. Makeup Geek's Poolside eyeshadow doesn't glow, but it is this bright blue, and I wanted to mix the varieties of eyeshadows that glow and eyeshadows that don't. These eyeshadows that don't glow are very pigmented, so they're great to use as a base for this halo eye, and you can see that mixing this color with the yellow it makes it super neon and green, which I'm totally cool with. Adding a deeper color into that halo eye, I'm using Neptune from Makeup Geek, this matte blue, just to give plenty of darker dimension. We want the darkest colors to be in the very outside of that halo eye, and you can see now I'm packing on the UV colors with green, blue, and yellow. It's just better to do it this way because those UV colors will now make the entire eye glow, but those base of eyeshadows that don't glow will really give that bright color when the light isn't on us. For the liner, I want to use Kryolan's Purple Aquacolor. Do keep in mind that since these are water activated, if your eyes get super watery, it could run a little bit, and no one likes that if you're wearing this to a festival or something, so I would just opt out for a brightly colored eyeliner. Adding just a little bit of that yellow underneath our eye too helps to kind of just pop out the color a little more, so I put the base of cream down, and then I patted the bright yellow Kryolan eyeshadow all over that to set it. You always want to set your cream paints. Just to tie the black lashes in with the liner, I did add a tiny little thin line right up against my lash line of black and then cleaned it up again with purple. And then I popped on some cocoa lashes that are in Risque. Glitter Injections did recently come out with some pressed glitters, which are pretty cool. They're kind of a creamy, like gel consistency and have a ton of glitter packed into them. So all you have to do is tap it and then just tap it a little bit onto your eye, and I don't even use glue underneath. Just for an added flare on the eyes, because our eyes clearly were not neon enough, I added some green paint from Kryolan, just a little line right up against the purple pretty much. We aren't done quite yet. We want to move on to our Starburst Paint Splatter Freckles. I'm using a small liner brush, and I want to just start putting them all over my face, mainly focusing on my cheeks and across my nose. That's naturally where my freckles are, so I thought I would just keep them around there. And I want to use quite a few different colors. I want to do as many different sizes of dots as I can, because normal natural freckles are usually lots of different sizes, different shapes. I'm trying to spread them out pretty evenly along the face, but I also don't want it to look too patterned. I want them to look pretty random, because again, freckles themselves are very random. Try to always think back on how it's going to look beauty and how it's going to look with UV light. We want to meld the two together into a beautiful love affair. I just put my eyebrows very hairy and wispy with some purple paint, nothing too fancy. For the lips, I was going to just paint them in a UV color, but I wanted to use Melt Cosmetics Stupid Love, and you can see that's how I put lipstick on with my piercing, since so many of you were curious. This isn't going to glow, but it's super bright in person. I clean up my lips a little bit, and then towards the center of the lips, I am putting the pink color from the cream Kryolan paints that we used a little earlier. And since this is cream, like I was talking about, I like to set it a little bit just so it really stays in place and so that it really glows. And I'm doing that with the pink eyeshadow from Kryolan. There's the final look, including how it looks with beauty and how it looks under UV light. I really had fun with it. I hope you guys like my little twist on a regular beauty tutorial. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.